Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Spirit Bubble.
Hello, hello.
I'm Kara.
And I'm Oma.
Yes, we're so glad to have you guys here. I know a little bit earlier I felt like I was kind of low on energy here, like kind of lulling, and I felt like I could hear it in my voice, and I'm over here like, I can't be keeping doing this recording. I can't do this recording like this. Like I sound so like non-energetic. I'm gonna do something, you
I like
know?
that. Yep. And so what did you do?
I was here talking to you,
Oh,
and I
yay.
think it was kind of like the exchange of energy.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I do. I love that because
Yeah.
I feed off of that from you as well. When we're connecting, I
Oh,
get that burst of energy and smiles and just, it's a good positive feeling that
oh,
happens when you and I get to connect.
yes, and I'm so glad we get to connect here more often too. Because I know like as we traversed in our communications with each other for so long, they went from a chat room down to direct messages, and now we do most of it here.
Yes. Yeah, we really do.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll think to myself, well, why don't I have these conversations when I'm just messaging you? And I think to myself, well, it's because we were supposed to share this with the world.
Yes, it was time for us to take it and have a little discussion to share with others.
Yeah,
That's kind of
absolutely.
like our purpose, of coming together.
Yeah, just really our purpose falling into place. And I know you guys have probably had experiences in life. We all go through this experience in life where we have all these different um, phases, I guess you could say, and the steps that we take in really learning who we are. And in those phases, it's really easy to ask, well, why are we on Earth? What is our purpose on Earth? Because there's so much going on. It's easy to compare yourself to the big guys that you see on big screen and like major publishers, and you want to think, well, gosh, we're faded this. What is my purpose? I'm just a little peon here. When really, that's far from the truth.
Right, right. If, our world makes it seem that if you don't have tons of followers listening to you or lots of likes on your content, that you're not doing it right or you're
Yeah.
doing something wrong. And that's not the case at all because it doesn't matter how many lives you're affecting. The reality is that you're getting a chance to make a difference in the world just by being you, plain and simple,
Right.
being yourself. And that was part of my journey to find out what my purpose was
Oh yeah.
because yeah, it was kind of coming to a place where I could recognize that I had my own gifts and my own talents to bring to the table, and
Hmm.
knowing that what I had was what the world needed, which ultimately for me was love.
Okay. And it's so fascinating. Everything we do circles back around to this.
Isn't it funny
Yeah,
that it keeps coming back around? We
yes,
started in the beginning,
it
we've touched
is.
on it. Yeah.
We make a whole circle and we come back to this. In fact, I remember I had said something on that video as well where I was watching one girl's video, and she was like, "Our purpose on earth is to learn love." So it's so interesting that you mentioned that.
Oh, for sure. I think we're all the same. So ultimately, I dug down and deep within my soul and spirit and heart and all of that was love. And I think when you get past all the pain and the hurt and the trauma and neglect that you felt in this sometimes dark and cold
Oh
world,
yeah.
when you get past that, I think what happens is you find that love that really is waiting to be felt
Right.
and unlocked. And so that's why it's like a life mission to redefine healthy levels of love.
Yeah. I know you had mentioned before, like a Messiah complex type of thing, where you felt like your purpose was like to save the world, right?
Oh, yes, for sure. I definitely struggled with that complex for a long time because, at first it manifested as I'm the one that's meant to save the world, which that felt like a weight, a huge weight. How in the world could I be the one to save the world? The world's 8 billion people and
And
I'm
you're
one.
one.
That's astronomical odds.
Uh-huh.
But and in time, when I realized that, yes, I can save the world with love, it wasn't that I needed to save the whole planet. It was just in my role, in my capacity, I'm here to give love to everybody I cross
Yeah.
paths with. So whether that's a ton of people or just a handful of people, I know I'm meant to make a difference and I'm okay with that. And that's what brought me to this stage to share with you and with the world at large.
Right. So it's basically like utilizing that love as a part of your purpose in life and having that focus on that in everything that you do is essentially what spreads it, kind of like a domino effect.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's like a domino effect because when you express that love on somebody else, that person's gonna want to express love on their people, and then those people can express the love there, and it can really make it shine.
Oh yes, I think of it like the game of Othello. Like it's
Mhm.
this game where you have to flip the tokens from
Oh,
black to white and you
yeah.
across the game board and you win by getting all your colors flipped. And so I think of the game of life as being Othello, flipping everybody towards love. Right
Yeah.
now, the world can be seen in many ways a dark and cold place. But
Oh,
because of that, you know, it it highlights the need for softness and gentleness
yeah.
and those inner graces that encompass what love is. And so by by learning to focus on this love that is the light side, like you said, you can touch somebody and then they
Right.
take that love and they touch other people and it spreads. So while I only touched one person, it ripples out and becomes a wave of emotion to share with others.
And it's so funny that we kind of are discussing that kind of thing because you know how when I told you that I'm clairvoyant, I can see things, right?
Hmm.
But I also have like a prophetic type of touch to it as well. One of my visions that I remember seeing when I first started this, I was really deep into receiving all this, was it was the earth, right? And it was very dark, like brown, dark, black, dirtyish, just not very well lit. It's like almost like trashed, right? But then a few little sparks of light started happening on it, right? And then the sparks started happening more and more, and the more sparks that were happening, the faster it was spreading, and eventually now the world was no longer this damp, dark, brown wasteland of a planet, but suddenly it was like shining again.
Oh, wow. That's so crazy that you had, a vision like that because
Mhm.
while I don't, excuse me, while I don't see actual pictures in my mind, I
Mhm.
get the awareness of what the picture is I'm supposed to be seeing. So it's
Mhm.
kind of like I'm seeing black, but in my mind, I know what that black is. And so I had this vision of Earth being encompassed in like, um, an aura of love. Like it was pink and it
Yeah.
was sparkly and it was
Oh.
warm and shiny. And it was just this idea that the planet was being enveloped with a positive energy. And so it's so neat that you say that with your sensitivities, you too saw something similar.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like we're here to spark the light. We're here to share the light. No.
Yes, I do know. That is so. That's so true. I feel it deep within me, and I think you feel a similar passion, right?
Yeah, and each and every one of us, we have our own unique ways. You know, like you said, your your experiences are going to reflect different qualities and skills to you than it's going to be somebody else. So if we were to take what we were gifted and we were to use that, our purpose would start to become more fulfilled.
Yes.
You
The
know?
more you act upon what you're here for, the more fulfilled you feel by those actions. So
Right.
again, I think I call the term keyboard warrior in our world.
Oh,
there's
okay.
a lot of there's a lot of people that feel that their mission in life is behind the keyboard, behind the screen, sending out messages, but they're not actively doing anything but their typing or their screen time. They're
Yeah,
not out living and just making a difference in a real way, being themselves,
you're
right?
right.
So, like for me, coming and sharing content, and I myself am a bit of a keyboard warrior because
Oh,
I
I know. I
too,
much prefer the keyboard too because, like, generally, if I have the option to either use my voice speaking or if I have the choice to type it out, I'd really rather type it out.
oh, I'm right there with you. I'm like, please, let's have a text based conversation. I love it.
People will give me their phone numbers and I'll be like, okay, well, but I'll just let you know I'm a lot more of a texter than I am a caller, so you might just wanna that instead.
That's a good thing to let them know.
Yeah, I would have to say probably of all things purpose related. I know that art has always been a major standing and remaining element in my life. So I definitely feel like that's something I should never really let go of, even if I go through little gaps. You know how you have like artist block or whatever, you know.
Oh, for sure.
Even if I go through those gaps, I do always come back to it. So I feel like there's some art in there somewhere that's involved with it as well. But teaching, I love to teach, and I'm good at teaching.
You are. You really are.
I mean, you know, not to say that just to rub my own ego, but just saying that because like I'm good at teaching. And
Well,
so I feel almost like my purpose really and truly, if it was a method of spreading love, it was through teaching others and spreading the knowledge that they would need in order to express it as well.
right. That's yes, I can definitely see that you shine with that. Absolutely. Like I know you mentor and you coach and you guide people, and it's just a passion that you have and that comes so naturally to you. So it's great that you're getting to live your life's purpose.
Yeah, and I always ask myself whenever I had first started going into these servers and stuff for these sort of things, and I saw where like everybody would be flocking to this person, and that person, and these people were famous and well known. I'm like, well, why can't I be that person? Can I become that person that everyone like relies on for that kind of thing and like spread this major guru knowledge, you know, in big thousand member servers, and it just never came to fruition, you know?
Right. Well, because I think I think there are some people that are meant to influence masses of people. And then I think there are some people that are so good at what they do, they get to make a personal difference in people's lives. They get to
Mhm.
focus on the individual, not the masses. And I think
Right.
that's a gift too, because there's a lot of individuals out there that need somebody to focus on them. And if everybody's out there just generically catering to the masses, how are those individuals ever going to be served?
Right, right. Especially when you cross paths, say for example, like when we crossed paths, you know. and it just clicks so well. You know that there's something that's meant to be continued forward.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. So pretty much the way that I have seen it and adjusted my thought after being jealous about those people who were the big time known gurus is okay, so if I can take this handful of people, right, and I can be able to give them the knowledge and the wisdom that they need, how many people are they going to? Just like that domino effect, you know?
Hmm.
How many other people
Absolutely.
are they going to touch? So I may not be the front face of like this whole spirituality. I may not be necessarily a big time book publisher, but I'm dealing with very important people who are an important step towards it.
Absolutely. You're doing the nitty gritty work,
Yeah,
sharing it with who needs it that might not get that special attention elsewhere.
right. So that's really kind of, I think, how I came to really defining my purpose in it all is just through all the efforts of chasing what I had wanted it to be and it never happening, and then finally just letting go and be like, you know what, it's fine. It's just going to be what it is. And then opening my eyes to the potential of what that could lead to later.
Right. That's a good way to see it. Realize what it is now and appreciate it for what it is, because even 1 or 100 or, it doesn't matter, because to the person that you're making a difference for, that's what you're there for. And so I went through the same process myself of coming to grips with who I was meant to serve and
Oh,
who I might not be able to,
right.
because with the grandiose messiah complex going on, I'm thinking everybody needs saved. And so that's a little pressure to get a lot of people out there and get working, and then
Mhm.
it almost demotivates you because you put so much pressure on yourself to be something big. But even those big people started small. So
Yeah,
that's where it's important. Once you figure out what your mission is, start living it in real ways, real active ways that you can experience to fulfill yourself
yeah,
and fulfill others too with your life purpose.
right. And when you're trying to force a purpose that's not meant for you, it exhausts you as well. It drains your energy because you're putting your energy into something that it wasn't supposed to be.
Yep, I agree. I
You'll get
agree.
burnt out.
Yes, it's becomes an act. It's an act you put on because you believe you need to be this certain thing. But you don't need
Hmm.
to be any certain thing. You just have to be yourself. And by
Right,
being yourself, that's going to lead you to do the things that are going to fulfill you in your life's purpose.
right. And when you do try to force another purpose on yourself, um, not only do you exhaust yourself, but you're actually setting yourself up for disappointment because you're creating these expectations of yourself. Like, say, for example, back then I would have been like, oh, well, I have to stay in server. I have to stay active in chat rooms, you know? And every single time I would try to do that, I ended up out of the server, or not as active anymore, It just, you gotta just let it happen, you know?
Let life lead you where you're most meant to be.
Right.
And trust that in the moment you're in, which it touches on our last topic, which was living in the now. When
Oh,
you're, yep,
yeah.
when you're in the now moment and you're fulfilling your life's purpose, it's a good feeling and you get to share that with others. And so it's something that feeds itself because you're doing what you were meant to do, which feels good. It helps other people feel good. It helps you feel good. And in return, it gives you energy to keep doing that. But
Yeah.
when you're on that false cycle of forcing yourself to do something that you're not really wanting to do, you just it's hard to find the motivation and energy to get up and do it. Even if you have willpower, it becomes difficult.
Yeah, it feels more like a job when you're trying to fulfill your own expectations rather than just fulfill what just is, you know?
Yep. You said it. It feels like it's a job. A life purpose is not just a job or a career. It's your living essence, what you're here for, why you came to be at this time and place. Like it's the purpose of your living. A job, sure, a job can enable you to fulfill your life's purpose, but
Right.
that's not all it is.
Right. It was like, you know how I would talk about, serving customers on just a little tiny word here and there, And then like remember I was actually kind of jealous that you had so much like tarot requests and stuff, but I was too busy to do that kind of thing because I was too busy serving customers at the cash register, you know?
Right. Yep. I remember us talking about that. And I remember believing that you were getting the chance to serve people with your spirit, with your personality. Yes, you were going through loads of people every day, but
Mhm.
with all those people that you were touching, well, that's what you were doing. You were touching them with your spirit, with your love, with your energy. And so you may not have been getting the tarot readings that you were hoping for, but you're speaking to people nonetheless. And I mean, that's a powerful place to get to be.
Right. It might not have been the lifestyle that you carry, and you may not carry the lifestyle that I carry, but all in the same sense, we still gain the knowledge necessary in order to share what we need to with the
Yep.
people that we do come across, Like, sure, I may not be super active in tarot, I may not be super active in providing, divination services, but now I can say that I have the experience in order to back up the knowledge. So let's say I get a customer come up in there, I'm like, I've never done this before. Like, is there anything you can tell me? Well, guess what? You know what? Now I can because I've done it
Yes.
before.
Yes, absolutely. You know, you had the expectation that, serving people would include tarot, but
Mm-hmm.
and you had the expectation in your mind that that meant doing readings for people or something along those lines. But
Mm-hmm.
in reality, your form of serving is sharing people the knowledge that you have about tarot and about that in a very real way with people face to face. You're getting contact with them. That's huge.
Like I said, teaching.
Teaching just like you're meant to do. And
Teaching.
see, you know it. Yes.
Like I just really found that I do my best in the teacher role rather
That's
than
a
the
good one.
serving role, I guess you could say.
Yep. For me, I found that I like the mother role, like because to get to be a mom to others, it encompasses so many different hats you wear when you're a
Oh,
parent. And so I feel like I get to be a positive presence for my kids. And so many people didn't have that with their parents. And so by taking my motherhood gift and sharing it with others, I can heal some people of the hurt of their past of not knowing what the love of an unconditionally loving mother is. And
yeah.
so that's how I get to take my love and channel it to others by just being what I think everybody needs, which is a good mom to love you and care for you.
Which I'm sure is the reason why you ended up with a little family,
Oh, yes.
you
And
know?
I believe that with my heart because they just, they motivate me, they inspire me, they make me feel better. Without this core family unit that I have, I don't know that I would understand unconditional love as much as I do. It was from having a husband and sharing a 20+ year relationship, and it's having those kids and raising them for their whole world for so long. And like, it's such a role to get to embody that I feel honored taking that to others that may not have had such a positive experience with their parents.
Yeah. So by having that mother role, it's essentially contributing to to the necessary experience that you need in order to serve that overall purpose of love. Because when you're a mother, you do things for your children out of love, you know?
Yep, yep, you absolutely do. And that's when you I think when you get pregnant, for a lot of people, you feel a very deep connection very quickly. Now that's not everybody, but a lot of mothers feel a connection to their baby that moves them beyond anything they've ever experienced before. And I feel, that's what love does. Unconditional love of parenthood moves you to do the right things that
Yeah.
need to be done to take care of this life that can't take care of themselves.
Yeah. So it really just kind of helps to set you up for that purpose that you serve now.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
I mean, imagine, I don't, who knows what kind of person like you would have been if you didn't have your children, if you didn't have your husband. Like, it's so unpredictable. Like, what position in life would you be in? Would you even be in this spiritual mindset? Would you have woken up to
Those are good questions. And ones, you know,
it?
maybe I don't know that I would have. I'd be a different person for sure because this family life, it grounds me. It
Mm,
stabilizes me. It gives me everything I need in life to be happy. And so if I had not come to that family life, I wonder what my happiness would be like otherwise, because
right,
it was learning how to love better that taught me so many of the lessons that brought me along in my spirituality.
right. And I think maybe the reason why I didn't end up with a family line, despite wanting children all my childhood and then wondering why I was never given that line, is because I needed that extra attention in order to apply to others. If I was going to be sitting here and teaching other people outside of my local circle, I needed that time in order to do that.
Absolutely. And that's a big thing. When I have a family I have to tend to, that's real life responsibility and
Mhm.
time that I need to take. And so it limits my ability to coach and be there for others because I have so much time invested with my family. So
Yeah,
that it's great you notice that yes, you may not have that family life, but you still have that love that you want to share with others. And so for you, it's through the teaching, which,
right.
that's a wonderful role to get to be for somebody else.
Yeah, but and yet you still figure out a way to spread love to others, despite having your family. You have really nailed down being able to allocate your time and yourself to others.
Oh, I appreciate you saying that.
So
That's
I wouldn't say that you don't have time for others. I would say you've learned how to allocate time for others.
balancing. It is balancing because, you know, we talked about it in another episode where you're balancing your spiritual life and your material life. And so, spirituality isn't going to solve your material world problems, but spirituality can help you transcend those problems and find meaning and purpose in them. And so that's what I get to do with others in balancing my life is sharing that purpose And oh, it's so good. It's so
I'm
much
so
fun.
glad that you've been able to just really find your role in this world. It's so
I'm glad you
good.
found yours as well because now we get to come together and show two
Mhm.
opposite sides of how to serve others from inside a family or from outside of a family, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, absolutely. And it's so cool how that happened too. And here we are, we're serving our purpose today in a balanced manner, you know?
Yes. We took, we had some free time and we were like, let's get our episode recorded.
Yes, yes, because it's going to be a busy, busy week for me.
Oh, yeah. Do you have a
Oh,
lot planned?
oh yeah, I've got a lot. That's the only reason why I even had taken any time off is because I knew I had so much. And I'm like, oh, I can't fit all this in. I just can't fit it in 2 days, you
Okay.
know?
Yeah. So mini vacation for you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna be pretty busy, but it's some time away from work, so I'm grateful.
No, I can understand that. I'm grateful for you. You work so hard. You have so many long houred shifts and just
Oh,
you really give your all to being there and serving in that way.
I try. I try.
Well, good
Absolutely.
job.
Well, thank you. Good job to you too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So, but yeah, just really letting our journey define our purpose, letting it lead to it, and recognizing that in this now we are serving the purpose that
Hmm.
we're supposed to be, even if it's a step towards a bigger version of it. You know?
Hmm. Life is a journey, so you're not just going to stand still through it all.
Mm.
It's going to evolve and change and become something that it might not have been in the beginning. But through it all, you're still going to be in the right place because you're being yourself and following your purpose.
Right. Making sure you're being you, making sure you're putting love into what you do, and you're loving what you're doing too. Um, and that's what's really going to help you be able to find that. Now, can I really say for sure, oh, this is our purpose. We're going to carry this podcast for the rest of our life? No, maybe not.
You never know.
It might grow into something. It might be just a temporary thing that touches just a few people, and that's okay too. We hope that it touches everybody. We would love that.
Yes, please.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, so if you've been enjoying this content, feel free to like, subscribe, follow. Um, Anybody and everybody that you can reach out to and help and just really be able to spread this knowledge to is always appreciated. That's our main goal. That's our purpose.
That is our purpose.
Yes, is to definitely spread this and just in the most real way, in the most raw information that you can find.
That's what we're aiming for sure.
Yeah. So it's a little bit of backstory about us finding our purpose a little bit. I know this is it can also be kind of a little bit of a deep topic, and even one that maybe it might take you years to find. You might not find your purpose until you're 40, 45, 50. Who knows?
For sure. And so if you're right now feeling a little lost and not knowing what your place in the world is, that's okay. Everything happens in the right time.
Hmm.
You may not be ready to accept what your life's purpose is right now. So if you're not at that place, just
Let
be
the
happy where you are
Yeah,
and
let the
let it lead you.
experiences shape you.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah. Let these experiences shape you. If you feel like you haven't found your purpose in life, then just keep on going forward with the genuine and truth of yourself and love that you can, and you're gonna get there at some point. It's
I
just
agree.
everybody's happens at different times, and just because let's say you might see this podcast and you might be like, oh, I want to do what they're doing. That's going to be my goal. And let's say if it never happens for you, well, maybe your purpose is in another place. Or maybe
Yep.
our podcast inspires one that touches a different crowd and yours is going to reach out to a different set of people. I mean, you
Yep.
know,
Absolutely. It's the game of Othello. We're working to flip the world to love.
we are,
So,
we are.
so no matter how you choose to share that love, it's going to resonate with who it's meant to resonate with. So just get yourself out there and do what you feel you're most meant to do.
Yeah, listen to your heart, listen to your intuition, listen to you, okay? Because if you are serving and doing what you know you should be doing, you're going to be on that path.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, I hope that you guys have been able to find some information, something valuable hearing this chat today in order to be able to really help you define your meaning of life. I know it can be a little bit of a deeper topic because it's different for everyone, literally. No,
Really is.
yeah, no two people's journeys and purpose are going to be exactly alike to each other. Nobody.
No, but I do think there will be a common thread that you can find parallels of understanding between others on their individual journey.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
after all, we're all kind of the same. So even if we're walking our different paths, we're all going in the same direction.
Yeah, we are. It might zigzag, it might go off to the side a little bit, but it's going to come back together, man.
Yep, I agree.
I hope that you guys have been able to find something of value to be able to help you understand your place in this life and encourage you to keep on chasing your purpose. You know, you'll find it. You'll find it. If you don't feel like you have, just keep going forward anyway. Um, we'd love to get to know if you feel like you found your purpose in life. Share it with us. We'd love to learn what it is you'd love to do and where you shine the most.
Yes, I agree. Just leave a comment and let us know what's going on in your purpose and how you're serving others.
Yeah. So until next time, you guys have a lovely day and keep being you.
Yes.
Yes. We'll talk to
Bye.
you later.